afternoon everybody, Car Biker here, and you might notice that something's different but not completely different. Kind of different, but we've been here before. This is a CB500X. Obviously I rode one of these a few weeks back and put the video out, and I said at the time that the reason I was looking at it was to see what it would be like potentially as a second bike for a bit of winter stuff and for potentially a bit of touring. That clutch is just on this one is just as loose as the one I rode before. I still don't like that. That still needs work. But I was saying about going touring on it potentially. 2 up with boxes on. So I borrowed this one. Same place, Castle Motorcycles again in Castleford. Very nice people. So I borrowed this one. Same bike, but this time it's got a box on the back. Not that makes a great deal of difference. What makes the difference is it's got Mrs. C on the back. It's so light. So light and wobbly. Wobble. So I'm trying it to see how I get on with 2 people on. And I can definitely say it's slower. But then again, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? It's not going to be as quick with 2 people on. And I think it's 46 horsepower. But I thought I'd come out and do some overtaking and see if it works, and do some going around corners and see if it works with Mrs. C as my guinea pig. So let's find out. Again, not a review, just a ride and a witter. Now on the Z1000 obviously I'd have been way past this guy already and round that bend, but it's definitely a lot less power obviously. I mean, it's about a third of the power of the Z, but it's fine. I mean, a few people were saying it won't have enough, but yeah, if you're going out racing it won't have enough. You won't be racing anyone away at the lights certainly, but I'm up to 60 miles an hour. I can take in the sights of the swans on the pond. I can probably overtake this bicycle. Oh no, there's 2 of them. Oh yes. 2 bicycles and a parked van. All with Mrs. C on the back, and she's not punched me in the back yet, which is nice. She did punch me in the back on the way down here when a traffic light turned, and it was close enough to make me think, and I stopped, and she didn't like it that I braked hard. But so far, no punches in the back on this one. And it's going to be interesting to see what she thinks to the kind of way that it floats across the road, rather than plays like it's a jackhammer on your spine. So easy to steer. It's almost a zero effort bike, it seems. I'm almost thinking it around the corners, which is good because he wanted to use both sides of the road. But this is the kind of road that I'd want to be on with Mrs. C. Nice bit of twisty turny, but not too hectic. Nice bit of scenery, and hopefully at the end of it a nice cup of coffee. Again, on the Kawasaki I'd have been whipping past them then, at least one of them probably. So you're definitely having to plan. But I have to say, it's not noticeably slower than when I last rode it. I mean, it's a while back, so I can't fully remember. I mean, I can barely remember what happened this morning. But it's not like it's struggling with anything. It's just not that type of bike really to be going mental. I would like a little straight bit to, to actually get past this though. Just to prove the point. Yay! Overtook a car that was moving! Yay! Yeah, it works. See what Mrs. C thinks to the speed bumps. Mrs. C's also never been on a bike with a top box, so she's never had the joy of that security of leaning against the top box. So it'll be interesting to see what she thinks about that. Although this one hasn't got a backrest, so she might have to deal with the hard plastics. I wonder if there's a backrest available for it. So I think this is fine. I'd say you're not going to be racing your mates or anything, but it's not what it's about, is it? I've got the other one for that. Not that I would ever be racing, of course. That's very, very naughty. Power! Yeah, this one's got quite a bit of extra gubbins on it, so it's a potential buy really. It's a 2015 bike, I think, with panniers and a top box. Got these swanky handguard thingy dingies, heated grips, I believe. They don't look like my heated grips, so I don't know how accurate that is. What else it got? Oh, crashy bar things, engine bars, that kind of stuff. Really, it's all the kind of things that I would put on the bike anyway. I mean, I wasn't too particularly bothered about the hand thingies, these handguard doobries. But, you know, if they're there, aren't they? But, the engine bars, the boxes, and the heated grips are a must really, aren't they, for touring? So I was planning on getting all those things anyway. And as a, you know, as a second-hand buy, a couple of years old with all that stuff on already, probably saved myself $3.5 grand over a new one. Right, well, I already know what I think of the bike, so I'm going to work my way back to the dealership and ask Mrs. C what she thinks. This is a queue caused by an accident I've already seen. I wonder if that's overheated. But it's an accident that's a good probably 8 or 9 miles down the road. Caravan and a car on its side, and some trucks gone into it, unfortunately. One thing I have noticed, I kind of expected it to squat down a bit more with 2 people on, and it really hasn't that much. I thought it'd be a bit lower, but it's not really made as much difference as I thought it would. So even though this is the kind of smallest of the adventure bikes for leg length, I might even consider lowering it if I got one, just a little bit. Just prefer that feeling of being able to roll my foot down nicely. The engine braking on it is quite limited. Come down a gear, you kind of expect that kind of kick down and it really wanting to slow down, but it doesn't really. It's just kind of clicks in and you almost wonder if you've hit a neutral. I might be a bit lost. God, it's so hot. Whew, what do you think? Resounding. It's alright. Well, we've been back to the shop, back on my my bike again, which feels tiny now. It really feels tiny, and the clutch feels awesome. At the shop, just happened to spot this other fella, this unnecessarily large chap on a motorbike. Turns out it's the infamous biker. How weird is that? So there he is in front of us. We're just off for a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee at Squire's. And obviously I asked Mrs. C what she thought of the 500X, and she came up with the resounding, it's alright, which is good enough for me. She was concerned actually that it was going to be too slow, so she knows I like a bike with a little bit of oomph in it. But as I've said before, it's not really for that. She liked it on the back. She liked having a backrest, or not a backrest, but a box that she could use as a backrest. And she also thought it was very comfortable on the back. So really, apart from the clutch, it kind of ticks every box. So, back to that question again. Did I buy it? Yeah. Yeah, I did. Picking it up next week. Woohoo! So back to being a 2-bike family. So thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.